Be happy to know that I'm sitting down for this podcast today. Some dumb made a comment about my sitting or standing or whatever. Motherfucker.
Yeah, Tim was standing.
Tim was standing. He even made it so that Miriam looked like a foot shorter than him. I'm not sure how he did that. If he had some kind of, he was towering over Miriam. I'm like, that much taller?
He was definitely standing on some books for sure.
You guys are
It would have been funny if Miriam was like, "Why are you standing on the?"
You're listening to the S38 Fire Team podcast.
All right, we're ready. Brooklyn, did you? So you're just freestyling it? You didn't send me a link.
I thought we're doing vintage prep.
And I modified it
to vintage prep or a car you'd buy and drive to vintage.
Yeah, well, the premise is this: vintage prep, which and then the other half of it is like find a car for less than a cargo pocket that you can take to vintage. Did you not see that? I did right that, didn't I?
Dude, listen, Linda. I have the car. Use the E34 wagon. I actually love that, and would if I didn't have sense, I would have already bought that car. But it's just a couple of the cars you sent me are really good, but that was my favorite because it would just go so fucking perfectly.
I've seen that car and I never sent it because I thought that you had a thing against 6-cylinder automatic BMWs, which I should realize now you don't. But I should be able to find that. Yeah.
I was under the impression that you didn't like big boobs. Sorry, no, dude, that car, it just the looks of it. Sure, it needs a manual swap, and S52 and a manual swap, chef's kiss. But that car next to Heidi, 850, same era, 850 on M parallels, green.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my favorite E34. I like E34s in general, but the E34 wagon, this is a really good looking car. And I have my M's. I am at a point in life where I would absolutely rock, I would rock that E34 wagon until something blew. You know what I'm saying? The transmission blows, good. Now transmission swap. But not immediately because I got other stuff,
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and at that price point, like I'm still tempted to get it, but I need to keep the budget clear because once Gandalf the Grey fixes the 850, he's going to call me with
a 2 cargo pocket bill.
Right. So
that's funny. All right. Well, hey, since you guys want to just hop into it, it's
well, do you have that link? Do I need to go back and find it?
I found it.
You already found it?
Yeah, I already got it.
God, you're masterful.
Yeah. No, I got it. Yeah. S38 Fire Team. We are back. I am your humble host, Dre Zoom. I have my esteemed colleagues with me. Brooklyn, say what's up to the people.
Brooklyn here. We're back. Thank you for joining us.
And also the mayor of Slick Top City, fresh back from his vacation to the stepmother land.
Hello, everyone. It's Adam from Slick Top City, and I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year.
There we go.
Tell them where you went, Wolf.
I went to Ireland, and let's see, what is probably the most recognizable thing that people know about from Ireland is I went to kiss the Blarney Stone.
Did you kiss it?
Yeah.
You have to when you see it.
Yes, you clearly. I mean, it was dead. There was nobody there. We had the whole place to ourselves, which was the best part about going to Ireland in December. But it was also cold. So you're up there in the wind, high above the ground, upside down, trying to kiss this stone.
But were you at the Blarney Stone tonight?
For those uninitiated, he's asking if Adam and his wife christened the Blarney Stone.
Yes, the Blarney Stone. No comment.
Yeah.
Hey, Heather.
All right. Well, that's I don't know how I can make that into a segue, but I'll try. Speaking of laying horizontal on your back and doing something you enjoy, we're going to talk about vintage prep. Scott Sturdy, who is I think he calls himself the Feistmeister. Is that right? Am I saying that right? But the master of ceremonies here in Asheville for the annual pilgrimage of old BMWs, which is known as the vintage. We've talked about it before in a few episodes back, maybe here. I'll link it. And
happy birthday to Scott Sturdy. I think
his
day
birthday
before was his
the
birthday.
other day. Yeah, he's January baby. I wrote on there. I was like, January baby. I was like, that explains everything. All right, now I know. Okay. But yeah, so he announced. Usually, he waits until January 1st to make the announcement for the dates and the specifics, or at least some of the specifics for at the vintage. But he dropped it on December 31st, which I thought was a nice ode to all of those where, come May and they're like, oh, my car's not ready yet. And we're like, bro, you had a whole extra day to get ready. Like, what are you talking about? He announced it one day early. So with that being said, the crew and I, you guys seen Tim last week, and the rest of the crew, we're all excited and everybody's getting ready and we're in full swing. It's officially vintage prep season. It's kind of cold in most places, but each day that ticks by, the weather shall incrementally get a little better and better as we approach the March, April timeframe, and everybody will have ample time to get their BMW ready. But what if you don't have time to get it ready? We're going to share with you a couple hot deals that are out there that'll make you say, that'll give you some room to procrastinate, if you will, as long as you got the funds for it. How much funds? One cargo pocket. Cargo Pocket, Brooklyn, our financial analyst. Please let everybody know what a cargo pocket of cash is.
Well, the term cargo pocket comes from the time I went to buy an E39 M5, and I had $10,000 in each cargo pocket of my pants or shorts. I'm sure it was pants. I don't wear shorts if I can help it. So a cargo pocket became a $10,000 increment. So you could fit $10,000 pretty nicely in your cargo pocket. So we call a cargo pocket when a car costs $20,000, it's 2 cargo pockets. $10,000, it's 1 cargo pocket. $15,000, 1.5 cargo pockets.
Masterful. Look for us on the stock market ticker. Right next to the yen, the Deutsch, and the dollar. Okay, CP. So anyway, for a cargo pocket, we can find you a nice vintage eligible ready ride. Might need to do a little, twisting and turning here to get it right. But we're going to help you out. Also, that's plan B. Plan A is for us to bring our own individual rides to vintage, which is May. So we're just going to kind of talk about our cars, what we're bringing, and what we need to do to get those cars ready for vintage. This is really, I know that we have all year to really do it from the time that you get back from vintage last year, but there's something about the pressure being on that really motivates me and gets me in the swing of things and kind of go, just go ham in the garage and make it happen. Adam in Brooklyn, we've both, all three of us have our vintage prep has lasted through vintage. Really, we've done some last minute hijinks that sometimes I don't know how we do it, but we do it. Adam, you're known for coming clear across the country. What does vintage prep mean to you?
Vintage prep means, like you said, making sure that everything's sorted for a long trip, as it's between 2,200 and 2,300 miles from Slick Top City to Asheville. And I like to do that in about 2 or 3 days. So about 1,000 miles the first day, big old long stupid day. Get to about Liberal, Kansas, and then I can stop and visit my family in Missouri. And then it's easy third day from Missouri to Asheville. But that there's a lot of risk involved with that. That is a big trip, and that's just one way. So, I do my best to make sure everything's topped up. I bring tools, I bring some spare parts, and vintage prep is continuous. So, yeah.
Right on.
Vintage prep is continuous. I'm gonna write that down. I think that'd make a pretty cool mug.
If vintage prep is continuous, how are you continually prepping for vintage Brooklyn?
This year, I'm doing something different, gentlemen. This year, I'm writing everything down, and I have a plan to take action every day, or at least to attempt to take action every day. Like on Friday, I wrote a punch list. Well, Thursday, I wrote a punch list for each car that I'm bringing. I'm bringing 2 this year. God willing, and the creek don't rise. I'm bringing 2 this year, so both cars have punch lists. One is a very short punch list, but it's still a much more expensive punch list than the longer punch list. And so the idea is to make the punch list, because that's important. A punch list for the uninitiated is a list of the things you need to do in order to, and you can even make it within priority. Like, first, get the car able to make it to vintage. Then you can do cosmetic things. You can do, little things. You're in a sedan and the back windows don't go down. Who cares? Can the sedan drive to vintage, right? If you get it driving to vintage state months before, sure, tackle the windows and get some, and get that taken care of. But there's a priority list. So the move is make the list of what you need to do and then work on something every day. If today you can't get in the garage, and if Wednesday you can't get in the garage and wrench, you surely can, order a new roundel, or, or choose what tires you're going to put on, or something of that nature. So that's what vintage prep is. Like, vintage prep is on steroids this year because I want to be more organized than ever and prepped earlier than ever.
That's a tall order. The beautiful thing about S38 Fire Team is that we can hold each other accountable, to a degree. I don't think we're gonna go full metal jacket and with when they put the soap in the thing, and like, we're not gonna beat anybody out of bed just because they had missed the milestone. But we chat every day, we talk every day, which I'm sure many of our viewers do, and we just give each other subtle reminders as to what the goal is. We'll drop the countdown. We have a chat. We'll drop the countdown in there, and sometimes you'll forget. You'll be like, "Damn, it's really in X amount of days." I forgot. I didn't even realize that. So, yeah. All right. So what we'll do is, I'll tell you what. I will kick it off. Wait. Production assistant fired. T-shirt check. What's going on? You guys can see it right here. It's M5. You see how I do. M5. Brooklyn, what do you have?
I've got the squad official merch, BMW Empower S38 Fire Team official staff shirt in red.
Adam?
And I have the Das Original Euro E28 M5 on blue.
Nice. That's
why that's historically accurate, because when they first delivered the first M5s for the car shows, they didn't have basket weave wheels on it. They had regular E28,
TRXs, yeah.
5, yeah, wheels on it. And so that photo, that T-shirt is super accurate. I love it.
Yeah, that's I had one of those shirts and got hijacked by somebody. Yeah, actually, and it doesn't fit anymore. So yeah. I had it on extra super dry, hot setting on the dryer. I don't know what happened. Who knows? But yeah, like I said, this is T-shirt Wars. We like to switch it up. I think this is the first time I've worn this shirt. I hope so. I don't know. By the way, we've surpassed 20 episodes. I think this is going to be episode 22. So you guys' retention check shall be in the mail. All right.
We're syndicated now.
Yeah, make sure you cash that check as soon as you get it. All right. You want to beat the other person to the bank, literally.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the popularity of our show, we're standing at the bank behind the cast of Friends and the cast of Seinfeld as they collect their residual checks. So,
yeah, that could definitely be it. So the car that I am bringing to vintage is my 1998 BMW M3, which, fun fact, it's actually been to vintage before, but as many of you know, E36 are allowed on the lawn this year because the venue has moved from Hot Springs to Hendersonville Airport, which is just this little rural airport in which, just little GA stuff goes on. But at any rate, yeah, so E36 are allowed. I have an E36 that I love dearly. It's one of my favorite cars that I've ever had. It's bright red. It's hell rot. So as you can see, I'm gonna probably add some pictures here, but what I want to just kind of share is some of the pictures from before I bought the car. So the car itself was actually repainted. Everything was repainted with the exception of the lower sills and the trunk. But this goes to show this is a infamous area right here for rust. And it was all of this was cleaned out, obviously. These are before pictures. And you can see how, and this is actually the the HID ballast, which I need to pull all of that back apart again. But at any rate, so this was some prepping that was done long before I had the car. As you can see, it going into paint here. Everything was stripped. They cleaned it. They took care of any little abrasion spots. And again, this was before I bought the car, but the owner shared these pictures with me. So just goes to show you that this thing was really broken down shotgun style and cared for. Got into paint and all of those things. So
hold a sec on that. Go back to that last photo.
This one?
This is something that I find very interesting. Look at the rocker panels here on the side, right? Those rocker panels are what every E36, mortal E36 that's not an M, comes with those rocker panels, which look good, especially when painted body color. And on top of those, they put the twisted M side.
Yeah.
I feel like that was physically unnecessary. You could just rock with the front and back bumpers, but they put an overlay, and I think that overlay can catch crud and be problematic, which is what I believe you were alluding to. So it's really interesting that they did. I don't believe that there's an aerodynamic benefit. There's a style.
Yeah, I think the purpose of it was to really differentiate between the base model and the M3. And this is just some underbody pictures of everything. It was what area? What is Wisconsin? Is that central states, mid plains? I don't even know what they call that.
I think Wisconsin is still the Midwest.
Okay, Midwest. So, but overall, very clean car. It's 20 plus years old, so you have some surface.
Did it have those wheels on it when you received the car?
No. Those were some track wheels that I told him he could keep, and he kept them. So I will say that one of I really need to get on it is this car paint wise was flawless when I got it, and I need to get it back to that because it sits outside now, which is not something that I'm happy with, but I only have so much space. And I've got the car sealed with it's got a good polish and wax on there. that does wonders. It's really tough against the elements. Summertime come, I'm probably gonna have to get some kind of storage going. So the big thing for this car, right? The big thing for this car.
What's that car named?
Roxy.
Roxy.
Yeah, that's Roxy.
That car is beautiful. It really pops in person. So Roxy's the reason that you now like red cars.
Yeah, I've always liked red cars, but this one is, this particular red car is really cool. I really like it. So just to give you kind of like what I'm looking at, I need a new clutch. The throwout bearing is going on Roxy. It makes a little weird noise when you push the clutch in. So one of the things that I'm going to do is add this right here, which is a short shift kit. This is completely put together by ECS Tuning, and it includes, this is an actual Z3 shifter out of the Z3, which makes it a factory short shifter. And then, of course, all the consumable hardware that goes along with it, to include a ZHP 5-speed shift knob, which I have in there now is just one of those light up. The shift lights up, but it's not a ZHP. And the ZHP, that little aluminum base adds like a good weight to it. But it's pricey. It's $500 for the whole entire kit. But you get a Z3 shift lever, you get the ZHP weighted shift knob, and then all the carrier pin, all of that stuff. You get all of that, and the transmission is going to be out anyway. So it's one of those things that you just want to do it while it's already out. That's the easiest.
How much is the actual clutch?
That's next. Glad you asked. So I'm going to go with a stage 1 clutch, and I'll explain why. This stage 1 clutch comes with a single mass flywheel, which all 90, 91, 92, post 91, 92 BMWs come with a dual mass flywheel. But if you go with a single mass flywheel, it lightens things up a little bit and lets the engine rev a little bit better. You do get a little bit more feedback from the clutch. But we're talking about a single mass flywheel that's coming in at 22.9 pounds. This particular clutch is from DKM, which is a supplier for European and Japanese manufacturers. Have not had a lot of interaction with DKM, but I've been kind of putting some feelers out there. One or two people said, there's so many E36s that everybody has a little bit of something. It's not like the E28 community where it's really specific. There's really only one or two manufacturers that everybody really go with when it comes to certain things. But as you can see, this comes with all new hardware, pressure plate, the clutch itself, the clutch disc. That's everything put together there. And then, of course, you have your clutch alignment tool as well. So,
quick question. Is this clutch E36 M3 specific?
So it fits
wow.
a lot of cars. That the particular clutch part of it was used in a lot of cars. Everything from an E34 all the way up to a Z4 with the M54. S54, if it's S54s, it fixed E46s, M3s. So tons and tons of applications. Like if you notice here,
cars, right?
Huh?
Those are all 6-cylinder BMWs.
Right. If you notice here, like the BMW Z3 M Roadster, S54, because remember that only came with the 5-speed, not with the 6. Mm-hmm. So that's why the S50. So the E46 M3 is not in here, but the E39, 530, E46, the regular Z3, all the different Z3s they had, M52, M50, S52, M54, M52, all the same. So it's all the same clutch if you ever were wondering. And that one comes in at $749. So because with the dual mass flywheel, you cannot resurface it. Well, most people say don't resurface it, but the counter to that also is that they say that a dual mass flywheel will last through 2 clutches. So if you have to replace your clutch and you got a dual mass flywheel, you can put another clutch on there without resurfacing it. Which, how often are you replacing a clutch on a car if it's normally driven? The reason why I want to go the last part of this is the reason why I want to go with a stage 1 is that I tend to drive a little bit more aggressive than the average driver. When we, vintage, I let it hang loose. Which this year is going to be interesting because we're not going to have that drive to Hot Springs, so we have to figure that out. But and even just driving around town, I've come home and smelt the clutch burning. So whether that's an indictment on how I drive and my skills or the clutch, but I do know the throwout bearing is starting to make noise. You're not going to just replace the throwout bearing. So that's the big, huge prep for that car. There's some other minor things: oil change, diff fluid change, trans fluid change. But for the most part, and I have some Vader seats that I want to throw in there. But as far as going back to what Brooklyn was saying, all of those things are really, whether it's regular maintenance or it's cosmetic, that's not what's, that doesn't keep me up at night. This kind of stuff right here is what keeps me up at night. The very last part of it is I have to figure out,
to the boat.
Huh?
The closest alligator to the boat.
It's the closest alligator to the boat. And I'm gonna fit that damn tent pole reference.
I've been trying to fit it the whole conversation.
I know it's racking. I'm like not even concentrating on what I'm supposed to be talking about. And last but not least is I need to figure out how I'm going to pull this transmission in my garage, and if I'm going to even do it myself or have somebody do it. By the sounds of it, it's not any fun doing this stuff on your back. I don't have a full lift that I can get my car up on. So so that's what we have in store for Roxy, my M3. It's it's a great car. It's finally allowed on the turf this year, and I want to, I really want to get it there. It's a better ride for us as well. I don't even think it has cruise control, but it has, a little bit better creature comforts. And even though Bob has made it, my M5 has made it back and forth to vintage many, 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 many times. I still feel like this is a little bit better as far as reliability getting up there. I have a tad bit more confidence getting there. So, So, Adam, I see you got a lot going on. Let's hit me up, man. What's up?
Oh, I'm just hoping that you'll be able to share some, maybe in post-production or whatever, you can share some photos of your current seats and the Vaders.
I can add those in. I don't have.
I think that's going to make a huge difference for you. I think like we're talking about the creature comforts and the sort of more aggressive driving that you do. I think the Vaders will really support that because they are super comfortable, super supportive seats.
And yeah, absolutely, and that's a big part too. And my passenger princess is looking forward to the Vaders. She liked them in Emma, the old M3. So that's to come. I have to work on that. That's going to require a trip to the junkyard and tap into my avionics skills because I want to get the power function wired into the seats. Does
that car have heated seats?
No, it does not.
Are the Vaders heated?
Yes, the Vaders are heated.
But Roxy didn't come with heated seats.
Yeah, you can't retrofit heated seats. You can retrofit the power function by putting power seats in and then hard wiring it into. You just need a hot, which you can go off the cigarette lighter, and they also have an auxiliary there's a fuse panel behind the glove box, or there's one on the lower left side, or any fuse you can wire into. It's just I got it saved. You just got to use the right inline fuse to go. You got to wire in the inline fuse and all of that stuff. So because power seats are always on, it doesn't have to be switched. Any car you go into, you can always move the power seat. So yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, the Vaders, also looking forward to getting those in.
Yeah, those Vaders really make a difference, I believe, in E36 M3s. You could say that they're the tallest pole in the tent.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it the tallest pole in the tent, but you definitely need that pole to properly construct that tent.
You know,
That
shout
is,
out to the Wolf. We're using Wolfisms today.
yeah.
He just has these great sayings that
He drops these gems that you can't live without.
Yeah,
You're
live
dropping
without,
them left, right, and center.
There's a saying in Tennessee. Well, I know it's in Texas. Fool me once. There's my favorite. I believe my favorite Wolfism is being in the crosshairs, and you're gonna have to correct me on this one. But something being in the crosshairs is not the same as cooked and on your plate, right? So you're trying to hunt down. There's something that you want, a job, a car, whatever, right? And you're trying to hunt it down. But even if you've got your rifle out and it's in the scope, it's in your crosshairs, but it's not cooked and on your plate. Something could go wrong. Your rifle could jam. You could miss. I've had some colleagues do this. You could hit the deer and spook it. And it's such a big and powerful animal that it runs for miles, or it runs into a kind of place that you can't get it. Because people do that, right? Like you've got your four-wheeler with you or your truck with you, and the deer runs into a place that you cannot, sometimes you can't find it. Sometimes you can't retrieve it, even if you do find it. So, and that's usually first world problems, right? Like sometimes somebody is hunting for their food, but most of the time it's for sport. But in the real world, when you're trying to do something, it's not done until it's done, right? I gave an example earlier of, famously, I can name this one person, Deshaun Jackson. He used to celebrate touchdowns, and I can't remember if he was playing for the Redskins or the Eagles at the time, but he scored he was scoring the touchdown, and in celebration he threw the football behind him, and the football landed on the 1 yard line and had actually never crossed the threshold. So he cost his team that score. I don't believe he cost them the game. I think they might have, but it was embarrassing for a professional to to celebrate in such a way that he didn't actually win. The food was not cooked on the plate and he was celebrating. And it's always, that's always a bad look.
All right, Brooklyn, your hands are full, bro. You're done shopping. Okay.
Right. Another favorite Wolfism. And I've been using that. It actually saves you a lot of money.
It does. I was disappointed in myself Christmas shopping. I go inside TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something. I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. I'm grabbing it. And I'm like, damn it, my hands are full. And then I walk around another aisle and there's a shopping cart there. I'm like, Wolf would be so mad at me right now. I dumped it all in the cart and kept shopping.
But because it was Christmas Eve, you didn't have
because it was
which leads me to one of my favorite Dre-isms. There's no minute like the last minute.
Yeah, my sister literally said that. My younger sister came over and I was helping her work on her. Well, I was changing some stuff on her truck for her. And I don't even know what it was we were talking about now. She was just like, hey, there's no minute like last minute. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know.
A family tradition.
Yeah. All right. So I'm also going to hit you with my pick. Okay. I'm going to show you. So let's say all of that does not come to fruition. Let's say that I, realize that my E36 M3 is not the longest pole in the tent, and I need to. How did I do? And I need to. One of my favorite ways to vintage prep is to just flat out buy another car. When you have so much on your plate, you're like, let me fix all of that and just buy another car to get ready. So, like I said, this year E36s are welcome, to include the E36 7 and 8, which is I got it right, Brooklyn? 7 and 8, which is the Roadster and the coupe, the M coupe, or the coupes. So that could be the Roadster, it could be the coupe, it could be the M variant of either. So check out this puppy right here. Okay. This is a 98 BMW M Roadster. Wow. Black shadow chrome wheels. Look at this thing, right? You can't make it any bigger.
And for the first time in history, under budget.
Look at this puppy right here.
That's nice.
Can you imagine rolling onto the lawn at Vintage in this thing?
Yeah, that'd be great. I love the wheels. I mentioned in the chat earlier that E39 M5 and the Z3 M Roadster are the only BMWs where I wouldn't even consider changing the stock wheels. They're best. They're like designed around the wheel. And, you know, in the words of our friend, the founder of Singer Porsche, Robbie Levinson? No. Rob Dickinson? No.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it is Dickinson.
He wheels make it the car. Everything is important. And absolutely I love everything about those cars. The instrument clusters. Can you get a picture of the instrument cluster? That instrument cluster is. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant the gauge cluster in the center console. It's just one of my favorite parts of that car.
Is that missing the window in the soft top?
What's that?
It is. It is.
Okay.
I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if they zipped it out or I don't know. Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, you're wondering why there's no back windshield?
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it's just not in there. I don't know if it's the kind where you can zip it out. I don't think it is.
I don't think it's removable, King.
Yeah. Well, that's what you can. So for the $5,000 you got left over, you can go find a hardtop and be done with all of that. But the seat's a little haggard right here. It looks like it's missing the belt for the seat belt to go on there. The black on gray does nothing for me, but again, this is saving me from hopping underneath my car and pulling a transmission. It's only got 152,000 miles. It's an S52. That ain't nothing for S52. And I mean, trunk space, I got to tell the passenger princess, soft bags only. None of that Louis hard roller bag shit. Okay. And, maybe no beer cooler. Right. I'll have to sacrifice because it's not.
Tell her you'll buy her some clothes when you get there.
Yeah. There you go.
This is my favorite part about vintage. This, or what we call the Plan Z method of vintage prep, right? My favorite thing about an Z3 M Coupe.
This is literally Plan Z, yes.
Literally Plan Z.
About Plan Z, which is getting a different car just to drive down to vintage and still getting on the lawn. That's the important part of Plan Z, right? It's like Plan F, what I've done before, bringing a car you cannot get onto the lawn, right? So my favorite thing about this plan is that it could work out such that you bring the Plan Z car there and you sell it at vintage. It's actually, it would actually really work out for somebody like the Wolf. Bring it there, sell it at vintage, fly back across the country.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Part of the fun is getting there and getting back for me.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying, especially give an example of bringing more than one car.
Yeah.
Selling one at vintage is a good idea. A couple of the guys talked about, selling, or if you have something else to sell, you could bring that, and vintage is a great place to get.
I'm usually never in a position where I can sell a car, but yeah, this is $97.50. If you want to finance it, it's $179 a month, which is basically my Netflix and Amazon Prime. And yeah, man, this is pretty cool. I seen it. I was like, that can't be right, but it's amazing. Yeah, it's in California. Hopefully it's still there and it's not burnt to a crisp. But this is beautiful. I think it's a good deal. It looks sharp. It's perfect for vintage, open air, summertime in Asheville. You can have the top down, cruising, perfect for the back roads of vintage. I shook my after I got done looking at this car, I shook my own hand because I was ready to close the deal. So yeah, I was like, deal, you're a good salesman. I'm like, thank you. You're welcome.
That reminds me of, we're gonna have to post that that cartoon I sent you guys some years ago, where it was a guy. He was like, here, buy another BMW. It's like, I can't. Like, yes, you shouldn't. It's like, yes, yeah, you should. And he was talking to himself in the mirror.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, yeah, so that's my vintage prep plan. It's get the E30. Plan A is get E36 M3 there with the new clutch and Vader's in there and all of that good stuff. Plan Z is M Roadster.
What is that? E36.
I think it's 7. Oh. E36 7.
7. Yeah, the 8 is the clown shoe.
Is the clown shoe. Yeah. So E36 7. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Brooklyn, what you got for us?
So I have I sent you can pull up put up a picture of the 850 if you will. I have my first punch list is my BMW 850 1991 5-liter V12. I don't know why I'm making this face. 5-liter V12, 6-speed, 560G transmission. Only available in the E31, 850i, 850ci, and 850 CSI. Also available in like a Noble or some like a couple other random cars, like race cars use that transmission, but it's very, very rare. And unlike any other car I've ever had, I've had to replace this manual transmission. There are parts of it that are very fragile. But it's a big, heavy car, a massive V12, and it's actually a massive transmission. Can you move that little hand off of the paint? A little cursor there. Thank you.
Not a real hand on the paint. It's just.
It's
Are you gonna go out to the driveway and wipe that off? Come on.
Put some respect on it.
It's messing up the visual. Let me get that cleaned up there. So, beautiful car. Always love to look at it. I took this photo a couple days ago. No BMWs were harmed. There was just snow. There was no salt or anything on the road over there. So this car needs some things on the punch list. Oh, this is the other car's punch list. It needs very few things. There's a leak that seems to be coming from a detent pin. Am I saying that right?
Detent? Yes.
So we noticed a long while back, that there was a leak coming. I took it to a local transmission shop. They said it's beyond their scope to fix it, so I had to take it to I had to ship it to a German specific shop. With their old. I call the owner Gandalf the Gray. I've actually never seen him. I've just spoken to him on the phone. He is super grumpy and German, which in my experience tells me he's going to do a fantastic job. If you run across a mechanic, an old German man who does not want to talk to you and loathes the fact that he has to use the telephone at his establishment, he is likely, burning the midnight oil and, doing all the farfignuke into your car. So that needs to be taken care of. There are other little things, like that's the closest alligator to the boat. That is the thing that is going to stop the car from making it to vintage, right? Not fixing this transmission leak, because I cannot drive it with that leak all the way there. I drove it around, my neighborhood the other day, and I was just like, I miss driving this car. This car is amazing. So the other little things, I have the glove box. I have the glove box apart. That car has an upper and lower glove box, unlike any other BMW I've seen. It's a 91, so it doesn't have a passenger airbag, but instead of a passenger airbag, you have two glove boxes to put your stuff in. That needs to get fixed. And the other thing is the driver's side back window does not go down. It's stuck in the up position, which it was, believe it or not, you guys got to help me out with the year, in 2013 or 2012, whenever I bought this automobile. Dre, you probably know, and I could probably find it in email. I want to say I want to say I bought it in 2012.
Sounds about right.
So, when I first bought the car, that back window wouldn't go down. So when I brought it into for its first checkup to BMW Exclusive Service up in Rockville, I asked them to fix that window, and they walked over to the car, pressed the button, and the window just went. Just what happens every time you take a car to the shop? The window just went down and worked perfectly for like the next 10 years.
That'll be $500, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know, thankfully, those guys, more than shout out to BMW Exclusive Service in Rockville, Maryland. On more than one occasion, they have done me very, very well. So that's the three. The only thing stopping it from getting the vintage is the transmission issue, which hopefully gets solved somehow at the shop that I've just sent it to. Will in a future if in a future episode, if everything works out with that shop and that location and that problem, then we will discuss who I sent it to. But right now it's there. Kind of my baby's in the hospital. I don't want to talk too much about it, but we'll see. So that's the major thing. Everything else is cosmetic, right? I would gladly drive all the way to vintage if only the transmission issue got fixed. So let's go over to the next car. So this is, it's more like, like a sneak peek deal. This car is also Laguna Green. It's Trina. We're gonna bring Shalinda and I are gonna bring Trina and Heidi and do the thing at the vintage. So Trina needs this stuff's mostly cosmetic. I need some things as simple as an oil change. Oh, my punch list started. First thing on my punch list: buy the car, check. Paddle the car, check. Register the car, check. Install the license plates, check. Order the person.
Check those things after you bought the car. You went back and checked it.
Yes. That's the best way to do. That's the best way to. You never done that with
or you actually wrote it. You're like, wait a second, I did that. I didn't write it. You write it down, then you mark it out. You're like,
dude, it's the best kind of to-do list. It's like you're supposed to clean the kitchen, and you procrastinated and wiped the dining room table off. Put that on the to-do list.
Oh my god, to done list.
So install. It had bottle cap, 15-inch bottle cap wheels. We've installed the 17-inch BMW M3 DS1 wheels. Did you bring those up from Florida for me, Dre?
I did.
Yeah, we've all. I want to say I've
brought you wheels, and you've brought me wheels, and
I bought Adam wheels.
And your E31 is lowered with the springs I gave you.
Yes, thank you. But on the wheel side, you've given me wheels because my M6 wore the style 15s that you gave me.
Oh yeah.
So we've given each other wheels.
Adam wasn't too happy about that one. He was like, "Oh yeah."
Well, actually,
I ended up marrying a girl. Remember you? He's like, yeah.
Actually, I owe him that set of wheels. Come to think of it. And if I had an E34 wagon, I'd bring them to you at vintage. Oh, which is a nice segue.
Just a nice segue. All
right. While normally my plan B's another way to make my plan A work, today we're discussing our plan Z's. My plan Z is yet another green BMW, an E34 5 Series Touring, which is a wagon for the non-Germans in the crowd. Maestro, what a good looking automobile. I mean,
I'm sensing a theme here with the green cars.
Yeah, I like when I see a brand form in front of my eyes.
What did you say, Wolf?
I said I think I'm seeing a theme here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Listen, if you were anything like Wolf, you would buy this car simply out of principle and nothing else.
No, for sure. I like it a lot. Actually, and it's already one of the things I like about it is already what I would do.
Yeah.
Right. I'm an OEM plus guy. Right. So the greenhouse, it's not tinted, it's lowered. It has the M parallel wheels, which I think are one of the most underrated wheels. BMW, I just debadge all of that, get rid of the stickers and all of that hoopla.
Sorry.
I would love for that to be manual, but you can't be a choosy beggar. That head unit has to go, but overall, and it would be great if the interior is black, but I don't know if I've even seen green on black without it being like an individual or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this car has all the potential in the world, and as it sits, right, even if you're just using it as a quote unquote beater or whatever, but I could see over time throwing some sports seats in there. Yeah,
back rear seat.
I didn't notice that before, but an E34 back seat shouldn't be hard to get.
Nah, you can find it. I want to say it's the same as a sedan. It might be the same as a sedan, so that'll help you out.
Yeah, especially that the upper portion might not be, but the lower portion is problematic. Yeah. I'm sure there's an E34 with a parchment interior. That's the other thing, right? Both of these cars, Trina and Heidi, those cars are Laguna green with parchment interior. This looks like parchment interior. It's not exactly Laguna green. I'm thinking Oxford green, maybe.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic if it was Laguna, but Oxford is actually a pretty color. Depending on who you ask, prettier than Laguna. Laguna is really pretty when well taken care of, but like a lot of other BMW colors, it can vary because if it's like left out in the sun, it'll be like a totally different shade, and two Laguna cars won't be the same color.
Yeah, and fun fact, this guy here, Chris, it's his in Newville, Pennsylvania. That's where I bought my Vader seats from. I know I told you that earlier, Brooklyn, but
hey, can you contact him?
Yeah, we were DMing each other.
You
hit him up if you still got it.
Yeah, contact him, ask him if he still has it, see what he's feeling like. Maybe we can work something out. We'll talk about it offline. I know you got contacts in that area. I'm not gonna say too much. I know you got cartel connections in that area, and we'll I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I think it's and I'll just not piggyback, what's the word? I'll just hop in here. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say that, but I think this is a great look, and I had it pulled up. Let's see if I can do this here. I had it pulled up next to the 850, and it was just it was like a match made in heaven. It was really just an amazing
combo, right?
Yeah, this is an amazing combo.
Wait, is he a dealership? It says dealership on it somewhere.
Yeah, he has a shop, and I think he sells cars there.
You notice that I'm from the north, no tint.
Yeah. Yeah, so like it's kind of hard to see in this picture, but you got the 850 and it's just such almost an identical, even though one's a wagon and one's a coupe, just the color and the wheels alone and the stance make them look like they were definitely designed during the same week at work. I think.
Yeah, I mean the E31 and E34, so they're not far apart from that.
Really the same
perspective.
That would be pretty. That'd be pretty close.
Leave that up there for a second. Let me.
You're and this is not an indictment on you, but I know you like to haul a lot of stuff with you. So Touring would be perfect. You can put all of that stuff in the back, your safety cones, your air compressors, all the things that you need to save my hide when I get a flat tire, and and still comfortably roll in this thing, man. This is pretty good.
What I like about it is, down the line, if you want to, because it's an M50, it's an M52. Wait,
M50,
95. It's an M50. Yeah. It's throwing an S50 in there or an S52 in there is literally plug and play.
Yeah, it's bolt in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which would be, or you could go either way. You could throw a blower on there. But like I said, S50, S52, plug and play. These came in. Did any E34 wagon come in manual? Probably not in America.
The wagons came in manual. Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think the wagons ever came in manual. I think anytime you see a manual one is swapped.
It's swapped.
Because
yeah. But the E39s did come.
Clinton Portis out in Texas had an S50 or S52 swapped red E34 wagon, I believe. Back me up, Wolf.
I don't remember. Honestly.
Yeah, he had a swapped wagon, and his was manual. And there was also a really famous one on Bring a Trailer that was red, and it had it had the M62 V8 in it and the 6-speed manual. That's bee's knees. And of course, nowadays people are dropping. That was an M62. That's a V8. They're dropping M5 engines, S62s in it and whatnot. And our friend V12 Jesus has an E34 wagon with E34 Touring with the V12 M70. Yeah. So yeah, that's my pick for Plan Z, and I might just buy it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's I'll hit the guy up and see what he says.
See what kind of noise he's making.
I think anything with a 3 in front of it, good deal.
Oh,
or even a 2.
Really?
Yeah, it's got some, the little details there.
It's
okay. So he's kind of starting high, so he could.
Yeah, and the guy was, like I said, he was real amenable. He very, very cool guy. Like when I bought the seats, like I told you guys this, he I'm like, listen, I'll shoot you a deposit. Blah blah blah. What's your Cash App? What's your what's your money market? What's your Zelle? And he was like, dude, if you say, and this is just through text, he's like, dude, are you gonna buy him? I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, I can't get to you until Friday. My father-in-law was hunting that whole week, and he wasn't back in town until that Friday. And he was like, dude, if you say you're coming to get it, it's fine. See your guy on Friday. I'm like, perfect. Because he had another guy.
You think you could get your father-in-law to pick this actual whole car up for me?
Yeah. They would probably hold it at the house. Yeah. They would probably hold it at the house.
Good people, salt of the earth folk.
Yeah, they would probably hold it at the house. They got a big long driveway. Adam,
I like that. I like that touring. That's a good look. It's needs a little bit of work, but as a Plan Z, I think it would be a good place to start. Probably get you there, and then, I mean, you would get there in style for sure. And then definitely get on the lawn, and then you'd be set. Then you'd have a touring, which I think you've kind of been halfway searching for one over the years anyways.
I've been flirting with the touring for many years.
That's the word to use. Yes, flirting. Yes. Flirting is the correct word.
Yeah. All right, good. It'd be fun if we all bring our Plan Zs and get vanity plates that say Plan Z.
Right, different states, Plan Z.
When we finally get on TV, that's the episode we got to do.
That reminds me, right before Adam gets into his thing, I'd like to make a public service announcement.
Oh no.
If you have O's or zeros in your license plate,
oh boy,
beware. I'll try to make it brief.
Two hours later.
So, Wolf, please present with us your Plan A through Z.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for sharing your plans. My plan is very similar to my shirt. And I have to tell a little bit of a story to kind of back that up, because last year when we went to Vintage, the S38 Fire Team t-shirts were introduced as a surprise to the team, right? The surprise went perfectly. What didn't go perfectly is that only 2 of 3 of us had our S38s present. And I was, of course, the odd man out. So, I have to live with that. And, that, gives me a little bit of regret. However, I want to remedy that mistake or, that outcome by bringing my 1988 M5 to vintage. So, Dre, can you pull up the M registry photo? All right. So this is the old listing of the BMW M5 that I own at the M registry, and you can kind of see it's black with dark tint and style 5s in 17-inch. And what else does it have?
Tuck front bumper.
Yeah, tuck front bumper, and
It looks like it has Euro headlights. Does it have Euro headlights?
it does have Euro headlights. Yep. So
Nice.
pretty.
I like the yellow.
Pretty. Yeah, that was a film. So pretty much on the level of your typical M5 that's still on the road. Now, I chased this car for quite a few years, and finally it came to a point where I had to have it. And so I got permission from the commander-in-chief and brought it to my house. So that car now sits at my house, and unfortunately I have not been able to get it back on the road yet. But after I share this little punch list with you, then hopefully it will be able to make the trip. So a couple things about the car before I tell you about my punch list is that it has about 200,000 miles. It does have an uprated starter. It has E34 M5 brakes. It has an Ireland Engineering exhaust, a Z3 short shifter with a ZHP knob. It has a dim and chip. It also has a different timing gear for the exhaust side of the cams. So it has a little bit more aggressive timing on the exhaust. And then it has a aluminum Wizard cooling radiator. It has, of course, Moosehead upper control arm bushings, and it has poly rear subframe bushings.
Nice.
It also has a black interior, and since those photos were taken on the registry, it has been updated to Euro bumpers, and I think that's about it. So my punch list is quite long because the car sat for quite a few years. It had a little bit of a run-in with Hurricane Harvey several years ago, and so it has not driven in quite a while. One of the things that's wrong with it is that the clutch is stuck. It will not disengage. So I'm not sure if it's rusted together or what's happening, but I have to take the transmission off in order to figure that out. But before I could do any of those things, I had to get the car sitting right. So now you can pull up that other photo.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
This one,
So,
right?
yeah, that's the one. Yep.
I like
So that is the car in my driveway with obviously some naked M systems and quite a bit lower. So I put some coilovers on it.
How low are you going to make it, Wolf?
That is about as low as it goes.
First of
all, I did increase the tire size to 245s rather than 225s. So it's a little bit wider tire. And so the front, with how low it is, it pretty much rubs on the fender the entire way.
Oh, is that squared? 45 squared?
Correct.
Ooh.
And then when I was getting it into the driveway, my driveway isn't very steep at all. But the front air dam definitely bottomed out at the bottom of the driveway, just getting it into the driveway. So it's a little bit, I might have to raise it about 10 millimeters.
It bottomed out backing into that driveway?
Correct. So it's pretty low, but I I think it looks terrific and properly mean, but that's just for aesthetics and a little bit of handling. And I really did this to sort of get myself motivated and kind of get myself, kind of picturing what this is going to look like at speed. And I think it's really going to look like $1 million. So my punch list is rather long, and actually I have the punch list here on my phone, so I'm going to read a little bit from it. And basically what I did is I took this punch list, and this is like big ticket items, and I put X's next to ones that I bought, and it looks like I have purchased everything that I need to purchase. So I have a big old stack of boxes next to the car, just needs to get installed.
Overnight parts from Japan.
Right. So first of all, obviously I need to fix that transmission. So I need to remove the transmission, and I have a new clutch kit, and I have a new flywheel sitting on the shelf, and those are ready to go. And obviously other things will be addressed, in the transmission area as necessary. So I have all those parts kind of sitting in the wings too, throw out bearings, bushings, other bearings, etc. So that's all set. And then, while you're in there, obviously you're going to be looking at the drive shaft. I want to do, the Guibo, the CSB, look at the U joints and make sure they are, still got some life in them. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the gas tank and modify the car so that I can put the Euro fuel tank in the car, because it's slightly bigger, and due to my long distance traveling, that extra range is going to be needed, especially with the thirsty S38 3.5 liter engine under the hood. So I got a Euro fuel tank. I have the appropriate in-tank hanger, which comes from a 318 actually. So that's a fun little hack that you can do. I have a Walbro 255 pump ready to go in the tank. You saw that I've already done suspension a little bit. I have to do some other arms and stuff like that, but that's all basically, whatever. I got new rotors and pads, E34 M5 pads and rotors for all four corners. And then basically the entire car, all of the rubber is perished. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
So I don't want to spoil another project, and so I won't name any projects. But did you have an aux tank?
Yeah.
You have an aux tank, but it's not for this car.
No, this is a Euro tank.
Yes. But I thought you also had an Alpina auxiliary gas tank.
Correct. That's for an E24.
Okay. Carry on.
Thank you.
Because that would be that would make your that would also greatly increase the
Sure.
the distance.
Sure. I think I'm just going to keep it with the Euro for now. That's enough of a hack that I gotta kind of bodge together. So as I was saying, the rubber is pretty much perished on the entire car. So hoses, gaskets, you name it, vacuum, all the things. Basically a tune-up on the entire engine. So I'm basically going to strip everything off of the engine down to basically the long block, put all new bushings and gaskets and stuff like that, rubber on the car, and build it back up.
Are you farming out any of this work?
Not at the moment. I think I might have to farm out a valve adjustment. But that's for a different time. Finally, what else do I have? Oh, I have clutch hydraulics. That's important. E24 hood shocks, so I can get the hood way open, and then that should pretty much make it mechanically sound.
Right.
So I'm pretty much gonna have to go stem to stern and make sure that everything is operationally good. Replace a lot of the rubber. All the rubber fuel lines are going to be replaced. Replacing the rubber brake lines with stainless steel, etc. Just everything. So I want to make this pretty solid car.
Well,
Go ahead.
here's the good news. It's not a lot of troubleshooting. It's it's a no question move. Whereas in my situation, I have a little bit. I have a bunch of questions about what my car is actually really needs. So in your case, it's like there's no real question about it. It's just if it's there, it needs to be replaced. So that's kind of a good thing.
Right. I also did purchase an AC kit, so that's on the list, and that should be really nice for a black car in the desert. But yeah, that pretty much takes care of all the mechanical and stuff. The looks, the aesthetics of the car, I have some kind of plans for that. I want to, kind of reimagine the Euro bumpers a little bit, kind of clean that up and get a different front air dam on the car. And that should be interesting. And then finally, this isn't going to happen before vintage, but the car does have a sunroof, and that's kind of against the rules here in Slick Top City. So I do actually have an E28 Slick Top roof in stock that will eventually be making it onto the M5. That part has been in stock for quite a few years, actually waiting for an M5. That was what it was. That's pretty much how long I've been manifesting this car. So it's a lot of work, but like you said, it's just pretty much going stem to stern and hitting everything.
Yeah.
It's not, hopefully, due to its altercation with Hurricane Harvey, there aren't too many electrical issues, but I can address those as well. So I'll probably do the fuse box upgrade.
Holy
stuff
grail.
like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, the great thing is that there are so many people that are supporting these cars now, especially the M5s, and especially considering how few of them there are still on the road. But that's kind of a plan. All the tune-up stuff, Cocoa Mats.
Mm-hmm.
All that.
The E28 M5 community is very small, and they're also very helpful. There's so much knowledge out there with the E28 chassis. That's what I love about it, is that people have almost rebuilt these things from bare shells to fully driving cars. So somebody hasn't encountered, there hasn't been a problem I had with my E28 where there wasn't an answer like quickly, like that fast.
Yeah, there's no mysteries really left with these cars. So basically I would need to get the car done a little bit sooner than later so that I could ship it off to a friend of mine in Southern California so that he could do the valve job for me.
Yeah.
But I probably have a couple resources for that, but
Are we heading to your Plan Z?
sure, we can go to the Plan Z now. You all know that I had a early E30 quite a few years ago, the Green Hell car, and I had to get rid of it when I came to Arizona, and so I've been kind of on the lookout for another E30, and just kind of keeping my eyes open. So if I was in the market, if I had $10,000 to spend and I needed a car to bring to vintage, this is basically what I would be looking for. This is a Euro E30. I believe it's an 83. It is a slick top. It also happens to be red, which is terrific. Manual, like you could see. And the rest of the stuff is whatever. It is a four-cylinder, but that adds to its charm. I can't remember what you said, Dre, the other day in the chat about four cylinders.
Not too much power.
Thank you. That's it. Not too much power.
The four-cylinder, not too much power. Like,
right.
Oh, really? Oh, did you hear that sound? Not too much power.
So it's a what do you call that? A momentum vehicle?
I'd say.
A momentum
got to be all up here.
Is that an M42 engine or an M?
No, it's a
M10.
M10, yeah. So this is pretty much the switchover year between E21 and E30. So it's basically an E21 underneath.
So basically all the weight of an E30 and all the power of a 2002. Yeah.
I wouldn't say the weight of an E30. If I remember correctly, this thing actually tips the scales like barely over 2,000 pounds.
Really?
Yep.
No, it's
The
a little
very-
bit
less
less
than
than
an
it's probably
E20.
like in the 25, 26 range, but it's in the twos for sure.
Anyway, so this car, I saw this car, you see it's, the price is, mid cargo pocket, and that's pretty decent, I think, and pretty much a dream spec for a Euro slick top E30.
Is it a 318 or a 320?
I believe this is a 318.
Oh, it's 318. Okay.
Yeah, I think they had 318s. So since I have a little bit of budget cap, let's go to the next photo. What you can afford with the rest of that budget is the momentum. The way to handle that momentum. And basically what this is this is an M3 E30 or E30 M3 suspension with coilovers. And so this is a 5-lug setup. And these setups are becoming harder and harder to find. And we see them pop up. We share them in the chat pretty often, I think, whenever they come up. And I believe some squad members have them sitting in cryo protection in their garages. But this is not cheap stuff, but this is definitely the setup that I would go for. And I believe you could get it, you could get this and the car under the cap, under the $10,000 cap.
For sure.
So yeah, that would be my plan. And again, not too much power, but it would have the proper stance. And I'm sure I have some wheels that fit 5-lug. I'm sure of it. And
are you? Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dre has a couple Hot Wheels cars as well.
Maybe. So anyway, that would be the pick. A Euro E30 slick top, and match the Island Boys. Is it?
The Island Boys. I just want to live my life.
Thank you very much. Although I would be definitely leading up the rear as a momentum driver.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. I'm sure that wouldn't last for long. $6,000 car, $10,000 suspension. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. No, that's
like
pretty.
that.
Yeah, that's pretty clutch. It's a beautiful, and Hannah Red is really a later E30. It's an E30 M3 color. So the fact that it's on a 4-cylinder E30, which understandably on a Euro, but I don't think the U.S. market's got henna. I could be mistaken.
No, not at all. Not besides the M3.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I would be screwing this car up if I got it, because I would be adding weight to it immediately. Bigger brakes, bigger suspension, or more complicated suspension.
Well, yeah, that's unsprung weight though, so it's not really, or sprung weight, I should say. That's not. That's not.
Now
really.
there's a car that would be begging for like an S50 later.
And then, of course, like I said to you earlier, Brooklyn, you should be buying that E34 Touring on principle based on its color. Adam should be buying this E30 on principle merely because it's a slick top. I've seen him buy a Barbie Corvette because it was slick top before. I mean, kind of thing that this guy operates on.
Right.
So, but yeah, beautiful. I like it. That has Adam written all over it. That's slick top city style with the can you see it? Oh, I thought that was the antenna coming out of the A pillar there. They usually, on the early ones, they had the antenna coming out of the A pillar. But cool.
Oh, it might be on the driver's side.
Yeah, it might be. It's definitely on the driver's side because you had to put it up like this. Yeah,
correct.
Mm.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, great choice, King.
Good stuff, man. That
Thanks.
is very. And once again, you tied in your t-shirt war into your pick, or into your thing. So I need to learn.
Finger guns.
Yeah,
he's undefeated with that.
Yeah, I always forget about that, and I need to learn. I need to remember that. But at any rate, so good stuff. It looks like we all have varying levels of vintage prep to do. Today's January 13th for those keeping score at home. That gives us, let's check the countdown.
124 days.
There you go, 124. 124 days to make it happen, Captain.
Until vintage itself.
Correct.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the best way to count because, that time last year,
We needed
you guys were
123
underneath
in
my
3 days.
still trying to make it to vintage, and you succeeded in fixing and make it to vintage. So I will shout you out every chance I get. If I become the governor of Maryland, they're going to be wanting to hear stories about how I became the governor of Maryland. I'm going to be like, there was a time at this show we call Vintage that my friends Adam and Dre stayed up all night fixing my car so it could make it to the lawn. And that is the kind of commitment, passion, friendship, generosity, and helpfulness that makes America the greatest nation on our planet. And so definitely shout out to you guys every time. These guys are modest. They blush, but they really did. If it was not for them, I would have been, not on the lawn. And we were all on the lawn, and we put on quite the show, like we try to do every year. So this year we are early. We're early if January is early because vintage prep is continuous, as the Wolf says. But there's still time, and we're going to try to. Now, when you're watching this video, you're going to see that some of this stuff is quite a stretch for amateurs to try to make it from January to May. But we are professional grade, retired procrastinators.
Retired procrastinators. Speak for yourself. Yeah.
New resolution.
So, we're on the job.
resolution.
Like all of this, this is planning. Wooden clipboard, people.
Not the wooden clipboard. Oh my God, things are serious over there at House Taylor.
Things have gotten serious.
I'll have to interject.
This is a magnum opus, the road to vintage that I've been writing. So we're in there.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I think that we all have, like I said, we all have varying levels of prep that we need to do. And we have backup plans as well. Okay. But as I always say, and me and Brooklyn always say, our backup plan is just another way for our primary plan to work. So we're just showing you some cars out there that can get you on the lawn at vintage and for less than a cargo pocket. But I think collectively, the three of us know that what we need to do. We need to get these primary plans and get them where they need to be, because we've really spooled ourselves into, we've corralled ourselves into making vintage such a hard point for us that we sometimes lollygag because we know that we're going to push through it. But the truth of it is, just like everybody that's probably watching and listening to this, we like to drive our vintage cars whenever we can, year round. Getting that motivation to do the vintage prep and getting it done early. This is our gift to you. Like, here's that motivation. Like, we're here to, get up off that couch, hang up the phone and get off the phone, get from behind that computer, get from behind that TV screen, get out to the garage, order your parts, and just chip away at it one little thing at a time, whether it's something small or it's something medium size or it's something big. Just get some resolution, because we all know that there's no better feeling than, pulling it into, used to be Hot Springs onto that lawn, and you turn that car off and you're just like, made it. We're here. We did it,
Dude,
so
to your point, I mean, as somebody who drives 2,300, 400 miles to get to Asheville, that's not, we're all high-fiving and hugging, great to see all the things. That is not the mission.
mhm.
Vintage is not complete until you show up at the lawn.
Yeah.
So, that's and like you said, Hot Springs is quite a jaunt from Asheville, where we usually link up. But this year it should be a little less. I don't know. It'll be a little less of a commute for sure. I'm not going to say less trouble, but
we should.
It reminded me of the Kobe Bryant clip where they're like, Kobe, you guys just won the third playoff game. Aren't you happy? Aren't you going to smile? And he's like, what's the smile about? Is the job finished?
Nope.
Job's not finished.
Yeah.
You know,
We
job's
have
not
to,
finished until we're on that lawn, man.
Yeah. We're gonna have to add some kind of hazard between the Clarion and Hendersonville, because that's only maybe 15 miles. We're gonna have to cut out a part of the bridge.
You always do a pretty good job of adding hazards.
Yeah. No, we gotta cut out the bridge, and where you gotta jump the bridge to get there, to make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe some sharks or alligators when you get out your car. I don't know. Yeah, they cut down. I don't know, something. But listen, this is we want you guys to hop in the comments, tell us what you are going to do for vintage prep. What do you plan on bringing, and what do you have to do, as Brooklyn was saying earlier? What's preventing the car from getting there? And if you have absolutely nothing to do and your car is already prepped, like some of our friends out there, we know who you are. I'm gonna drop my address in the description. Bring your coveralls. I got an extra set of tools. We can get to work. Vintage prep. Listen, I am Carl, Dre Zoom, Legister. That is Brooklyn Taylor. That is Slick Top City. This is S38 Fire Team. We are